Good evening everyone and welcome to Neelam's show. So today is again very special day, but before that I would like to tell thank you so much for lots of comments and lots of advices, lots of best wishes to me. I'm feeling so overwhelmed and more enthusiastic to bring new topics and give good knowledge to you. Last time as we discussed, you have to see barcode for Indian products. I hope you people are following it. 890 starting is Indian product ka, that is like symbol, that is Indian product if your barcode is starting from 890. So don't forget it. We have to buy only Indian products. At least we can try to do that, to help our country, to help all the people from our country. Okay, let's come to today's topic. I'm talking so much, no? Okay, so why I chose this topic? Understand your children's hidden traits. In this lockdown, we all are at home with our children. By default, we are also locked down inside our house. Abhi to like few things are open, still lockdown is continuing. So we are having so much of time with our like kids, with our family. We are doing lots of activities, and that time I realized Jovita is scribbling so much everywhere, on papers, on walls, everywhere. So many places are there. You can see that also. So I found a person who was seeing that scribbling, and he was guiding me towards her growth, and he was always telling me, अरे बेटा ऐसे नहीं, उससे ऐसे कराओ, ये नहीं, उससे वो कराओ, and that always helped me so much. Then slowly I understood he is having so much of potentials, and then when I started asking him more, I came to know he is certified graphologist and statement analysis. He is working on graphic things, he is working on kids' doodle, drawings, and then he is guiding parents how to improve, how to manage their kids so they will have more successful life. I was like, he asked me to write something and I wrote something, and he started laughing on me. He told, because your G is not correct, you are not able to take correct decisions. And I was like, now which G is not correct? Then he corrected my G, second ABCD G, he corrected, and I found like there is huge difference in my decision making power. So I made him and I asked him to be our guest. So we all, I mean me and with me, all of you can get that benefit. He can guide us towards how we can help our children to be better person, to be more successful. And here he is with us, Mr. Ashok Gupta. And thank you Ashok uncle, thank you so much to be our guest. I would like to ask you, आप कैसे बने? Like, how was the journey of becoming this graphologist and statement analyst?
See, right from the childhood, I have been always looking out for new things, exploring, more especially why we are here, why we are born, what is the purpose of life. It has always been an artistic and philosophical thinking. So way back in 1972, I met a friend who gave me this book, which was the beginning of my journey into graphology. And you can have a look at it. It's 1972. He must have purchased it another 20 years back. He was 20 years senior to me. If you have a look at it, if the camera can be just down, here it is. With love to Ashok, Mr. Ramachandran, 11/3/1973.
1973, this book was gifted to you.
Me.
Oh my god, and maybe this is like more 20 years ago someone has...
and see, this is how I learnt about what A, B, C, D, what it means and so on. Eric Singer had once remarked that you can know about your wife in half an hour
Half an hour.
by graphology than
Oh.
knowing your wife for your lifetime. So,
You can understand your wife in half an hour from graphology.
so that's how it started.
So, so that is done for auntie, like basically to understand her.
If I had done it
impress
for
her.
auntie, this would still would have been with me. Okay, anyway, that's how it started, and with little knowledge that I had, I sort of burnt out my pocket money trying to reach out to Americans and British through friends, trying to get more and more books. Then moved in the IT technology era. Things became easier. Today, I think I have about almost about 800 books in PDF format, in Kindle format, and in the printed text format, about 200 of them. But still, the research goes on. The mind is full of graphology and children, and in case I hesitate or blubber away certain things, it's just because I'm not used to public speaking. I'm more of a person who is there in my 6x8 room and doing things for myself. Anything that you want to know more
But
about it?
that's how we find more artistic person. They are always in comfort zone, but then they open up. They have lots of things to show up to this world, to give up, to give. So, okay, we'll come to that point also. Now my actually question is like from graphology, how did you enter in this doodle thing?
See, graphology basically is 70% of discipline learning and 30% of psychology. So in order to understand more of graphology, and more specifically which I have started recently, is Gestalt graphology, which means totality. You see graphology, you see written statements only as a picture. You don't go to A, B, C, D, M's and try to analyze. So when it came to graphology, and some of the chapters are there dealing with children's handwriting. From children's handwriting, which is basically starts with doodles. That's how I came into doodles, and I said, okay, let me do a little more work on it and see what best I can do. From doodles, it moved on to children's paintings, children's drawings, and then we have a draw picture test, we have a draw tree test, and drawings, analyzing drawings. Because today, parents are not able to understand the children. And when something goes wrong, they blame the children. I do remember one of my clients here, he is owner of a sweet manufacturing shop. His son and daughter, they came to me for analysis, and I found that the child was drawing tears, he was drawing pistols, and his doodles were all angular in nature and so on. So I asked, being from the northern state, they love their sons more than their daughters. But I found out that the mother was having competition with the daughter who was in college in terms of beauty.
Oh.
And the son was very aggressive and very anti-sister, that he wanted to murder her. But the parents said, the children are like that. I said, no, the parents' behavior has brought them up to this stage. So like that, so many incidents are there, so many analysis. Today, as I said, Neelam is going to ask me a few questions, and I'll make an attempt.
Yes.
A little bit theoretical, more so it will be the reading from my mind. And I'll try to explain what exactly is a doodle. And then the question she was going to ask.
Yes, what exactly the doodle is. But before that, I would like to ask viewers, our sound is audible like to you. Everyone can listen us, right? So my next question is, what is doodle? Exactly what is doodle?
If you look at the dictionary meaning, there are so many of them are there, but the origin of word doodle was in the 17th century in Germany, it was called Doodle Top or Doodle Top, D-O-P or D-O-P. And it meant nightcap. Guys who will be sleeping all the time, people who are inactive, people who don't do much. That's how the origin came up in the 17th century. So doodling now has got another meaning called scribble.
Okay.
Scribbling normally among children, when they do this, they are not applying their mind in the sense they are not deliberately doing it, nor they have intention. Especially the young children up to the age of 3, they just take the pen and anything that comes across, they darken it on the walls, as she said, on the floor, on the carpet, on the saris, pillows, wherever they can find an expression, they express themselves on this. But interestingly, you'll find most of the students who are studying, their notebooks carry doodles. That is the time when they're getting bored, they have nothing else to do, they keep on scribbling. It could be scribbling of landscapes, geometric shapes, patterns, textures and whatnot. So coming to the meaning of doodle as such, in the sense that it is creating a visual representation of what you are thinking. And to go a little more specifically into this, most of the time you would have found that you are in a conference and the conference is boring and you start writing something on the scribbling pad. In fact, a typical case, Clinton Hillary, when she was in the conference, National Security Conference, she was caught doodling.
Oh.
But then it was also found out that whatever she had doodled, she remembered everything very well and she was able to narrate what exactly were the important topics. So there is an example of doodling where absent-mindedly or whatever you call it, you are able to note down the important things. However, coming down to the scientific or rather the psychological aspect of doodling, there is a stage in the human mind where there is a lot of arousal and inactivity. And that is especially when the teacher's lecture is there, you are bored, neither you are attending, nor you are listening, neither you are awake, nor you are asleep.
Neither we can escape.
Now you can escape. So whether if you take a right step, you go to sleep.
Correct.
If you take one step to the left, you are awake.
Correct.
So in this stage, it is called the default mode of the brain. Viewers, please try to understand that this statement, default mode of the brain, is the most important aspect of human activity which falls between the arousal and the inactivity. And in this, it's something like a car which is idling. The brain is functioning all the time, but there's not enough energy going into it. It's on its own. There's no stress, there's no tension, there's no compulsion, no reason, logics, nothing. It's going on its own and on and on. And that's where some people think, they say, why don't you meditate? Meditation is also allowing the thoughts to come in between. But then, meditation does not have any side effect or results. In this, when you do something like that, and little connectivity with the realistic things all around you results in an expression which is called doodle. It could be squares, stars, happy faces, it could be abstract forms, it could be anything. And anything is anything. That is your doodles. So that is, and these doodles are result of the memory. See, you can only visualize or you can only allow the brain to function by default is based on what you saw. A child or an adult, whoever it is, if he is living in a hilly environment, the images that go into his mind would be that of hills, trees, birds, and that is what he will be thinking. And if he has to do the doodling, probably this is all he can do. If it is at home, if it is a British house, it is a kettle.
Correct.
Indian, it could be a cooker. Girls might draw a cooker.
Correct.
Another English lady, her daughter might draw a kettle. So the thoughts which go on in the mind at that time, rather the images, when they convert, that is, when you are replaying the memories in the default mode, And when you get connected with the reality for a few seconds, what results in is disengagement, and still paying attention to the outside world results in the doodling.
So actually our surroundings are affecting so much to doodles.
Yeah. It is affecting the child.
Correct.
The effect and cause results in the doodles.
Correct.
Now, for example, if you take shapes, or it could be, let us say, we think in terms of.
So Uncle, how they are created? Like doodles, how they are created?
How they are created. Okay, let's say we'll take an example of a boy who's living in a very restricted environment.
Okay.
Parents are very strict. He's not allowed to go outside the house. He's not allowed to play. Or there is a friction between husband and wife, or the relations and the family. When you try to tell him to draw, see, doodle is one stage which is almost like subconscious, but it results in also the drawings, which is conscious. Right now, the question that you asked, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But here the doodles means result. So in that, if the child is drawing pointed objects, sharp objects, or agitated lines, like the graph going up and down in one of those, what do you call, screens, or it could be crisscross, it could be things pointing downwards, or sad face, small objects, which means that he is affected by that, and that is what is coming into on the paper. He may not draw a smiling face, he may not draw a flower, he may not draw open space in terms of mountains. So that's how his the space that is having, default place, all these images come in, they are reflected into the doodle. They can be in the form of people, nature, objects, or it could be the emotions. So the doodles will take shape into any of these and more in combination with each other. That's how the doodles are generated by the neurons giving messages to the nervous system, and nervous system moving out and writing it down. It's something like you go to the hospital for cardiograph or something. So you find up and down the lines are moving this way, that way, and the doctor is monitoring the heart, beats are there. Then he looks at the beats and says, okay, your heart is good or bad.
Correct.
So it is a reverse process. I do remember olden days we used to have this magnetic tape. Originally magnetic tape consists of electromagnetic particles which are uniformly placed in line with each other. So the voice, when it affects, it changes its pattern, which is embedded, and when you play it again, that disturbed pattern gives the sound again, similar to what was recorded. That is what recording is. So brain also has the same thing. Whatever is impacted in your subconscious, or whatever you see or feel, it will be reflected in your doodles.
So once Uncle told me very good thing. He told me doodles are poem of brain. Please explain that point. That is like my most favorite thing.
So what happens is we have got different types of poetry, ballads and poetry, 4 lines, 8 lines, 16 lines and all that. And when you try to decipher it, especially I bring your attention to Urdu poetry, which I read, I write poetry also. Here, or even take a Sanskrit stanza. Each stanza can be read many ways and interpreted many ways. Same thing is there with the poem. Why half the life we have been studying in English, that poem, describe it, understand it, word by word, the meaning, and still we forget about it. Because he wrote it with something. According to me, poem is something which has got so many things in between the words, in between the lines, and comprehension is the knowledge of the language. If you understand it, you can understand poetry. Same thing in doodles. Each symbol, each word, each line is like words placed next to each other, and it's up to us to analyze it. Like English, you must know English very well in order to understand the poem, and you should understand doodles if you are able to learn and practice, and it's not all that difficult. It's just discipline of mind, certain ABCDs are there, you follow it and you can do it. On the net, there is enough explanation, but that explanation is useless or fruitless unless you understand what is the going on in the mind of the child. Then only you'll be able to understand the outcome called doodles.
So we can learn after this session, like you can, I will guide you how to be connected with him, with us, and you can learn this doodle understanding for your own kids. Like you can help them to be better person. For that only this session was designed. So I'll explain you in the end of this session, like how you can connect to us for this doodle learning things. My next question for Uncle is role of doodles in children and adults. So doodles are not only for children. Even so many times we are sitting in some conference and we are also, even myself, I will draw some mehndi designs, some circles, something I'll do. So it's not only for children, it's for us also. So what is the role of doodle in children and adults?
Okay, and now before we get into the role of it, we'll try to understand the doodles by a child and doodle by an adult.
Exactly.
Now a child is exposed to certain images. Probably he is not adept enough to draw proper lines. He is not capable of giving good shapes because he is not guided that way, he has not learned it. An adult who knows drawing, or if he does not know, but he has practiced over a period of time certain shapes. So you'll find the adult doodles will have much more content into it, much more realistic looking. They may have no connection with one doodle and another, but overall you'll find it could be a graphic pattern. It could be circle within a circle within a circle, coupled with a square with a rectangle. But those are very well defined doodles. Whereas in the children, they are not so well defined in the sense they are not drawn properly. But the fact still remains, the child doodle or the adult doodle has got the same origin called the blank or the mind, which was, what do you call it? What did I say? Myself forget it. Default functioning of the brain.
Yes.
See now, for example, now my doodles are going much ahead. I am not able to go back. So default functioning of the brain in child, or for example, that matter, a boy or a girl, because the DNA is different. Their physique, their temperament, everything is different. You will find a girl will draw doodles more for flowers, rounded shapes, love signs and stars and so on.
And lots of hearts.
A lot of hearts. Well, boys, they will draw cars, they will draw guns, they will draw arrows and so on. That is because the DNA is like that. That is, their thinking process has been.
If they will draw heart also, there will be one arrow.
But that arrow will be drawn by the boy. The arrow will be drawn by the boy. Okay, that's how it is.
So learning doodles and understanding, like what is it?
See, first, I think one should spend enough time to understand how doodles are made. I told you about the, what do you call it, the controlled and uncontrolled environment.
Exact meaning of what they are drawing.
Yeah, what that happens is then in understanding doodles, we have shape, we have sizes, we have style of writing. For example, if it is style, the stroke movement. Stroke means energy, it means temperament, it means health. What it means, if the stroke is very, very weak, you yourself will say, what is it? Are you not able to write your lesson properly? Are you not feeling well? If your daughter or son is writing very smoothly, very regularly, you say, yes, you are doing good. But if her or his statements or written words are haphazard and lines are going up and down and all that, what is it you are disturbed? Why don't you write properly? So
anything happened at school? Anything happened at school, we'll ask that.
So you know everything.
Correct.
It's something like 1 to 0, 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 plus 4 plus 4 is so and so. You have known it, but you do not know the algebra. So our job is to teach you the algebra so that you can say a plus b whole square is so much.
Correct.
So we have to first learn the fundamentals, then you build your own stories. Net is available, do practice.
Uncle is available.
Oh me, I don't know. That's how it is. Now,
so what exactly doodle tell us? If suppose Jovita is scribbling something, what is this telling? Like it's her mood for time being, or it's her nature, or if she is like that's what always going on in her mind?
there are Couple of things. One is called permanent traits.
Okay.
The other one is ongoing. Like, traits are like, suppose I am short-tempered by nature. You cannot stop me from being short-tempered.
Correct.
But a short-tempered person can be happy. He can still draw a flower.
Exactly.
So it will define the inner thoughts which are hidden inside you. What are your traits? What are the things which you are hiding from others? That can be seen. If he's a shy person or if he's a person who's insecure, he'll never tell you his problems. He'll never tell the parents, I did this, I did this, I did this. But through the drawings or the doodles, you can find out those hidden weaknesses in the child. As a simple example, if the child is very bold and studying well, you very rarely ask him any question. You say everything is fine. But one day you find that he has beaten up somebody in the class and come back. Why? Somewhere inside him, there was some thought going on. That was his nature. Like, he didn't like something, he reacted to that. So those hidden problem areas can be identified with doodles after the periodic study, not one reading or two reading or three reading. Parents are advised that every 10 days, every 15 days, they should look into the doodles, see whether there are changes coming up or not. As in the case of handwriting, even doodles will reflect changes which are happening in their temperamental, in their mind, what they are behaving, how they are going to behave, what are their weaknesses and strengths. It's a dynamic process.
Correct. And how can doodle change our life?
It's something like yoga. Nothing, it could be as close as yoga. See, one, it helps you concentrate. Concentrate means you are aware of what is happening around there without actually making an attempt. That engine is running, you absorb whatever you want. You don't get into the problem so much. Allow those hard facts come to you and note it down. There is a trend nowadays, they have this pictorial reference, note taking.
Okay.
Doodle used as note taking. Very, very effective. You don't have to write down. Writing means you are concentrating, you are trying to find a word which has got the nearest meaning, you are connecting it up with the conference, you are connecting it up with the person who's saying it, and then you write it. By the time you do that, he's already gone to 10 steps ahead.
Exactly.
So, doodle is something immediate on the spot. You draw it, stress-free, taking down the notes.
Correct.
So, it can be concentration, then memory. It helps you memory. Exploration, that is most important in a child, where you talk about lateral thinking, you talk about creativity, you talk about exploration. Because when the mind is working on their own without any restrictions, images after images after images, thought after thought after thought, it comes to your mind. But then you connect it at the right time. That becomes your result. That is creative thinking process. No, the other day, I normally ask this example, I'll ask you also.
Okay.
You are sitting on the dining table. The food is downstairs over there. It's kept on the ground. How will you eat it?
I will go down and I will eat.
You're not supposed to go down and eat.
Oh. I will call my husband and ask him to give my plate.
Even that is not allowed.
I'll take plate up. No, I cannot get down only. I will tell to my mind, it's your fasting day, forget about food. Then nothing.
Then what happens? You are God-fearing. Why didn't you pray God that the food should come to you?
Because I know it will not
It will not
happen.
come. So, where is the lateral thinking in this? You have not thought enough about it, how to eat the food.
I will go upside down.
Yeah, you go upside down, pick it up. Because that is not being done by anybody. You think it is not possible?
But yeah.
Why didn't you think about it? So that's what happens is, when you do exploration, when you think lateral, go out of the box and think, solutions come to you. And that lateral thinking also becomes creativity. So these are some of the things. And all that goes into the background is that default brain. Whether it's yoga or it's meditation or it's peace of mind. The other day you want to do a peace of mind. What you do is sit down there, make sure that you are not sleeping, make sure that you are not awake.
Oh my God. That is
yoga.
After being mother, that is our routine mood. We are not sleeping also. We are not awake also.
preoccupation is there. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that.
Yes.
That's what happens is why husbands survive is whenever you keep on talking, they get into this default brain. Neither they are connected with it, nor they are disconnected.
I want auntie to watch this session.
She will tell that I am like that. Don't worry. She's used to it. So this is how it works out. And it is, to be very honest, it is not a psychological lesson, or it is a very crude way of saying it. If I want to turn out jargon, then you'll have to sit down, find out meaning for every word. I am trying to communicate the way it should be communicated to a child or an adult, and somebody who's very, very who's very, very new to this. I'm sure so many visitors, viewers would have already gone through the process. But my way of saying things are simplicity, because what I was told is, in the world, the simplicity is the most successful way of communication. If you know, I'll give you an example. I had George Abraham, my lecturer, BSc Mathematics. So he would give us a problem. There were 4 of us. We'll write down the answer at the bottom. We have read in between. But when we go to the exam, we'll never write the steps, we'll miss out on the points, because the professor says you have to write the intermediate points also.
Yes.
So my idea is to see that every step is shown so that you become so well versed with it that there should be a time you look at the doodle and say this is the result. That's the idea of simplifying. It is not that I am teaching anybody, it's not that I want to force that I have more knowledge. The sessions will come step by step, A, B, C, D, so that you understand better. That's how the idea is all about.
So once you gave me one task, like you draw something and you asked me to make it. I would like viewers to understand that task, and they should follow same with their kids also. So can we just
there is one way you can do is very easy. That is for total. It is only for concentration.
Okay.
You just have to. I'll just show it here.
Okay.
Just tell the children to draw whatever they want like this.
Whichever color.
Whichever color, whichever way, let it be like this. Like this.
Give them 1 minute. Give them blank plain paper and ask them to draw whatever. Yes.
In the circular form, especially.
Okay. Circular
in this.
form.
Non-stop, no break.
Okay.
Right? Now what you do is, after that, you try to tell them to shade areas, find shapes. Now I am finding my first shape. It happens to become 8.
Oh, correct.
Now if I connect this here like this, it becomes a lady bent forward. I am seeing the back. This is the back. This is the back side of the chair. This.
Correct.
Now if I take this again further, close this up like this, it is a hand.
Correct.
So you work out. Draw 1, 2, 3. Tell them to fill up shapes and tell them. Don't guide them. Tell them what exactly
they are seeing.
Those papers you can send it to us.
Yes. Take snapshot. Take photograph. Of
I'll repeat it for the viewers.
Yes. Please just concentrate once again. You have to ask your kids to draw whatever they want to do in this kind of form. They should not stop in between. They should not lift their pen or pencil in between. They should draw something, and after it's ready, they should find out shapes, what they can see in this.
Now for example, I'll show you one shape which probably a girl child will do.
Yes.
It's a leaf. She sees a leaf inside.
Yes. Then whatever they are seeing, how many
Let them write it down.
Yes, you write it down, take photograph and please mail it to me. I'll write my email ID in my description, so you can mail that thing to me, and then Uncle will guide us in next session what is the meaning of this doodle, what is the meaning of this drawing, and
in short, what you can learn, you guys, what you can get out of these.
What you can get out of this is concentration.
Overall doodles.
Yes. From overall doodle thing, what you can get out is concentration, memory, exploration, problem solving, think beyond the expected, and very important, creativity. So this task, please everyone, please do with your kids and send
They
those.
can do it. Even parents can do it.
Even parents can do it. Even for parents, Uncle, I would like to give that task to them. Box and one
That we'll do it in next session. I'm not
Okay.
prepared for it.
Okay.
That's what we call is Gestalt test.
Okay.
8 square test, 12 square test, 16 square test. So we'll start off with the 8 square test next time.
Okay.
It's meant for the parents. And as a type of permits, you can go for 12 box test.
Okay. Okay. And one more task is there. This is there, and one more task that is meant for kids whose age is more than 5 years. From 5 to any. You have to ask your kids to draw a house, whatever shape they want to do. They want to do hut, they want to make castle, whatever. Ask them to draw house, any color, pencil color, crayons, watercolor. Ask them to color it and again send that to us, email us, and then we will tell you what kind of guidance you need as parents and what kind of guidance your children need. Do this. Then another task is children who are having age lesser than 5 years, for them just give one blank paper, give one pencil and ask them to scribble whatever. We will understand their sharpness of shapes. So take photograph, again send it to us, and then in next session we will discuss all these things. Right, Uncle?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Uncle, what you would like to tell us, like tell our viewers in short, like how this is going to take us towards successful life?
As parents, having lived more than half the life or going up to 50%, 60%, 70% life, children are there, that means 35, 40 years of age. Today, the most successful thing which I understand is don't make the mistakes, don't allow children to make the mistakes that you made in your life. It means learn from your mistakes, guide them properly, and I'm sure indirectly you are also successful. If you are happy, your family is happy, children are happy, you will definitely do well. There are only two things, I am on the lighter side of it, there are only two things to worry about at home. Either the wife or the children. So you take care of the children, children will take care of the wife. See, I wanted to end this with a smile. Everybody seems to be laughing and smiling. Well, that's it. The idea is today the most important, especially middle class people, what our property is, what our earnings are invested in the children. They are the people who are going to say, "Arey, here is it. His father is known to me. Her father is known to me." That's what I want out of this session, which means understanding your children better, bringing them up better so they are successful. With this I would say thank you.
Thank you so much, Uncle. It was awesome session, very, very informative. So much knowledge we got from this. And please do this task and send your children's drawing to us. Even if you have more further questions, if you want to learn understanding doodling.
Counseling, 1 hour counseling session.
Yeah, even we can have next time 1 hour counseling session. Even we can guide you on phone. So whatever questions are running in your mind, just mail us without fail. And thank you so much for attending this session. Have a nice week. Now weekend is over. Have a nice week ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye.